folks. I'm WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Tito Santana.
This is Kurt Angle.
This is Bret the Hitman Hart, and this is going out to Scott and Holly.
You are listening to the
Win Twice Wrestling Podcast
With Scott and Holly.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
And this ho's for everybody. Ho!
Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to listen to the incomparable Win Twice Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Scott and Holly. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be entertained. Hello everybody and welcome to episode number 29 of the Win Twice Wrestling Podcast alongside your hosts, Scott and Holly.
Hello.
How you doing, Holly?
I'm having a lovely time.
You sat there with your beer, smile on your face?
I think we should cheers to cheer you up.
Go on then. Well, don't tell people I'm in a bad mood. I'm not in a bad mood.
It makes a change you being in a mood and not me.
Does it?
I feel like it's always me that's in some form of a life issue.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I go back to the WrestleMania 8 episode, then that we don't talk about that anymore still. I wasn't going to go into the details of it or anything like that, but that was a dark moment for you in the recording booth, as it were. Booth is a bit of a glamorous way of describing the study in my house.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit posh, isn't it?
You're a bit fancy.
In the servants' quarters wing of the
For sure.
the house. But yeah, before we go into what we're covering for this episode, has there been anything this week that has caught your eye in the world of wrestling?
You know, Scott, something happened this week.
Did it?
Something did happen.
Yes.
Yeah, we went
Care to elaborate?
We went to Progress.
We did go to Progress.
Yes.
What do you think?
Had a bloody lovely
It
time.
was great, wasn't it?
It was, I'll be honest, for me it far surpassed the last time we went. As in, not because of us, I mean I know it's going to come out the wrong way.
So
As
just
in,
to be clear...
what we saw, don't
so
twist it.
Holly and I were the only ones in our group that went to the last one. This time we had our editor with us as well. So what you're saying is, I'm your second favourite now.
No,
that's
not
what I heard.
What I said.
Tell you what, that Eiffel Tower situation needs to be renegotiated. That's all I'm saying.
Stop it.
But no, it was a really good show.
Really good show.
Like the content of the matches, I thought I would agree with you.
Wouldn't you? Yeah.
It was a good atmosphere. I really liked the Electric Ballroom as a venue. I thought that was good.
Really good.
Nothing wrong with Tunnel Park, to be fair, but
I liked it better, this one.
yeah, it had a better flow. It was a bit more open as well.
Wasn't it just?
And I was talking to Jamie, I think yesterday, and he said he actually had very low expectations. He didn't look into the company at all.
Always aim low.
Well, he said
theory.
it was really nice. He said I was just really looking forward to meeting up with you two. And he said, and the rest was a bonus. So,
well, hopefully he still has that, mindset. That
yeah. Well, we're going to another one, aren't we? So we're going to the one in July as well.
Yeah.
But he said to the point where he actually now wants to actively follow Progress as a company to see how they do. And it's kind of basically our nearest local promotion, isn't it, from where we live, to be fair. So have to see if we can somehow shoehorn Progress shows into our reviews going forward, because I think that'd be quite a good idea, and hopefully drum up a little bit of support for a company that very much deserves it, quite frankly. Sure. Other than Progress, anything else catch your eye?
Nope.
No, that's where we stopped?
No, I'll be honest, no.
So you didn't hear about what happened to Edge?
Oh, I heard he shattered his foot.
He did.
And I've seen the clip, which I really wish I didn't see, I'll be honest.
What was he going for?
I don't even know.
So, again, some of my mates were theorising on how he actually ended up in this pickle. So jumped from the top of a cage to put someone through a table. And they're like, did he go for a splash? Did he go for an elbow? It looked to me like he went for a coup de grace. Which,
yeah, he did actually.
Which is mildly remedial, if we're being honest. And, have I always been a big fan of Edge's in-ring work? No. Do I think a 50-year-old man should be jumping off from 20 plus feet in the air to go feet first onto wood? No. It's a shame. I don't know how that could have been avoided. Maybe not have him do it at all, but I don't know whether that was his suggestion, the company's suggestion. I would assume it was probably his. But I don't know, it's not a good look.
I'll be honest, seeing it, I saw it on Instagram and I was just like, don't think I need to see that.
Especially for me, ankle-related injuries and stuff is the big one, because actually, this is a good opportunity as any to give my ankle-related story. We've covered your injury. I don't think we've covered my
I don't know.
ankle. We've definitely talked about like off the
Yeah.
recording, but I don't think I've detailed exactly how. I'll only cover the second one, to be fair, where it was just before my 30th, if you recall.
I vaguely recall your 30th, yes.
Yes. Well, are you all right?
No,
You
I
weren't
was
that-
absolutely fine.
Yeah, you're fine. I'm surprised because you had a tattoo that day, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
There you
so
go.
I had to be sober.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
It's very few and far between, let's
Well,
be clear.
again, wasn't going to say that myself, but yeah. So my missus organised a surprise birthday for me, which was really nice. I'll be honest, I don't like being the one to be
Oh, it
surprised.
was really good.
It was solid effort all round. Booked out a venue, but she also put activities through the day because I didn't know what I was doing. I genuinely
Yeah.
had no idea. Although I nearly caught her out once, not intentionally, because she showed me something on her phone in a Facebook message, and obviously it showed all the groups and stuff that she'd set
Oh, I
up. And I
see.
think it was a Facebook group or WhatsApp. No, I think it was a Facebook
Okay.
group of all the people that were going to the party, and it said Scott's 30th. And then she realised after she'd given it to me, she said, "Oh, by the way, that," she said, and she played it really well actually, because she's not a good liar, I think. And it basically, she said, "Oh, well, you know, I tried to organise something, but too many people couldn't do it," and I was just like, "Oh."
Oh.
So I was just like, oh, okay, well, she might have left it late. I don't know. So fair enough. Didn't think anything more of it, and I think I even mentioned it to Jen. And Jen's face was, as you know, Jen at work. She didn't know how to gauge, and she just kind of went, smiled at me with looking confused. You know, like when Mark said he loved her,
Yes.
just to get a reaction.
Yes.
That is the face she pulled, and I just
Okay.
thought that's weird because obviously she was like, "Wait, it's not happening."
Yeah.
'Cause- yeah. Anyway, so on the day, in the morning, she went, "Okay." So she wouldn't even tell me where we were going until we got there. So we got to this foot golf place
Oh, yeah, I've heard about this.
in, where is it? The place by Epsom. Can't think of it. Literally right by
I mean,
Epsom.
I literally live there.
I know.
Not goals.
No, it's not
Oh,
goals.
Horton.
Horton, thank
Yeah.
you.
Phew.
And we went there to play a round of foot golf. I was like, oh, that's really cool, because I always thought that'd be quite a fun idea. So it was me and my missus. I'll be honest, she beat me on the first hole. That was annoying.
Nice.
And then we get to the second hole. Fine. I catch back up. Third hole. So my kick went a little bit drifted right. There was a gully on the right hand side. And the general rule is you can just roll the ball out. Like, you don't have to leave it in the gully.
Oh, right, yeah.
Em said, "Oh, just move the ball out." I said, "No. No, I will be kicking the ball out of this gully." And she went, "Okay." And it was about 3/4 of the way through my run up and swing back and go forward that I went, "Oh, God." And I heard it before I felt it. It sounded like, you know, when someone treads on a Coke can?
Oh, yeah.
That is the noise I
Crunch.
heard. And I just went straight down, hit the floor. And I was like, I could be in real problems here. And I just looked down at my ankle and immediately went poof, swelled up to about 2-3 times the size immediately.
Oh,
And I
dear.
thought, oh God. And I was like, I'm going to see if I can get up on it. And I couldn't put weight on it,
Oh,
barely
dear.
at all. Really bad state of affairs. As soon as I tried to take a step on it, went straight back down again. And because I'm stubborn, Em said, "Oh, I'll go back and get someone to get." I said, "I am not getting on the back of something." I said, "I'm walking myself out of this place." Probably stupid, but too much pride to do that. I don't know if that's a male thing or that's a me thing.
Yeah, okay. I'll go with it.
But I could, yeah.
Yeah.
So what I had to do in the meantime was, because we then started to hold up the people that were playing behind
Yeah.
us, I literally had to drag myself up a grassy hill without putting any weight on that.
That's hilarious.
And I just went, play on, like, wait for the next
Okay.
people to go. And I just lay down for about 10 minutes on the side, and I couldn't finish the round of foot golf.
So this is what gives you PTSD when you see ankle injuries?
Yes, so whenever
Fair.
I see ankle injuries, I
Yeah,
go back
fair,
to
I
that
get
time. To the
it.
point where even when you see funny videos, you know, people like in heels
Yeah.
do the walking and their ankles are going all over the place. Every time I'm
Gosh, you must hate
flinching.
going to a Christmas party with me then, like Bambi on ice.
No,
after I've had
you
about
take-
10 drinks.
You take your shoes off, to be
Yeah,
fair.
true.
You
I'm
learn
a
not to
tramp.
hand them to me, though, so that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the main reason. And
Okay.
she, like, and I said, oh, we'll just go home. Because I knew we had a restaurant booked in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, can we just cancel that? And she went, yeah, but we need to go to this other place. And I said, do we have to? Can we just go another time? She went, no, Scott, we need to go. And I went, there are people there, aren't there? She went, yeah. I went,
Oh.
Very nice, very
Yeah,
sweet
it was
story.
lovely.
But yeah, so that was a long way of saying. So we're all sharing on the podcast
We're all
here.
broken.
We're all broken in many ways, in many ways. But yeah, that injury to Edge, unfortunate, but
Not nice.
not nice at all. I guess that moves us on to the meat and potatoes portion of the meat and veg. Not
Yeah.
we won't go over.
Yeah, fine.
We won't go over roast
too
potatoes
Too
again.
much chatty talk this week already.
So we are. Well, actually, do you want to do the introductions to what the show is? Because
Okay.
we're flipping roles for this one. I want to
I
see.
didn't know about this.
I want to see how quick you are at thinking on your feet.
So we did the first ever. I'm going to say this with such a skeptical voice because I want you to tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay, I will.
It's the first ever. I don't know that long word that you use.
Inaugural.
Thank you. I did not a fucking chance. Am I trying to say that?
Fine.
Episode of Nitro.
Yes, WCW Monday Nitro.
Yes.
So we've obviously covered
And
the.
that's my intro done.
There you go.
Let's move on.
Professional,
Thank
polished,
you.
well done. We've obviously covered the first episode of Monday Night Raw.
Yes.
We needed a shorter episode this
We
week.
did, yes.
So we've delved back into the archives and we landed on WCW Monday Nitro, the first ever episode of that, as Holly has said. 45 minutes
Oh, it was
playtime.
blissful when I put that on Monday night.
But
Yeah.
how rapidly does the show move?
Yes.
That's the only issue with the shorter shows. Note taking
Mm-hmm.
is haphazard at best.
Yes, a little bit of a struggle.
But I've got a bit of background information on a few bits and pieces for you, so hopefully
Hit me with it.
and then I'll give you the information as well.
Oh, God.
So WCW Nitro, the first ever edition, was on the 4th of September 1995. That was 2 days after my 6th birthday, for anyone that's keeping count.
Shut up.
How old are you, Holly?
Fuck off.
Wow.
Because you're going to make an old joke.
I wasn't going to make an old joke. Again, I said you've aged better than me. The venue was the Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota. Although they kept saying Minneapolis, but it was, according to what I saw, Bloomington. But I think Minneapolis is the big metropolitan city, so they always kind of say they're going from there. Your face is one of, I couldn't care less about the minutiae that you're explaining to me right now. All I can see is her staring at me going,
It's just geography. It goes over my head.
So I'll give you a bit of background. So I've taken some excerpts from a couple of websites. Well, I say a couple of websites. It's the same website, and I'm pretty sure it's the same article, but it actually was quite fitting. Mm-hmm. So I found this in the Wayback Machine on WWE.com.
Ooh.
And it had some stories about the first ever Nitro, which I thought was worthwhile sharing. And I'm pretty sure that what they've cited in here is correct. Because if I think it's bollocks, I'll try not to include it for obvious reasons. So it starts with Eric. What do we need to do to become competitive with Vince? According to former WCW President Eric Bischoff, in his book Controversy Creates Cash, which I have read, those words spoken by Ted Turner were what led to the infamous Monday Night War, the battle between WCW's Monday Nitro and WWE's Raw for sports entertainment supremacy. The fact they said sports entertainment there is very clearly then a WWE article, because they don't call it professional wrestling. What was supposed to be a meeting to pitch Turner on licensing WCW programming to a Chinese broadcasting company owned by foe Rupert Murdoch ended up changing the mat industry forever. I love the way they try and shoehorn different wrestling terms in there. The billionaire mogul interrupted Bischoff's presentation to pose that question. Thinking on his feet, the young executive threw out the idea that WCW needed a primetime television slot. No one expected Turner to immediately turn to the president of TNT and tell him to give WCW 2 hours on the network every Monday night. But that's exactly what happened. Not really, because they were given less than that initially, because 45 minutes does not make a 2-hour show. But I digress. No one expected... Oh, we've covered that. But that's exactly what happened. Bischoff and his crew rushed the programme that would become WCW Monday Nitro into production, hoping to get it on the air by August 1995. And they came close. September the 4th, not too far off. In the locker room, WCW stars were thrilled at the prospect of going head-to-head with WWE. There was a lot of excitement, Jimmy Hart told WWEclassics.com.
Sorry, I can't do it.
It's alright, we don't see him on the show. A lot of us had already been with WWE, like Arn Anderson, Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan and I. We knew what it was going to take, what it was going to be like on that kind of stage. Despite feelings of anticipation among the veteran wrestlers, there was still a prevailing outlook that this was too big a step for the Atlanta-based company. Going head-to-head with WWE would mean one of two things, Bischoff wrote in his book. We'd either rise to the occasion and be successful, or our failures and weaknesses would be obvious and we'd never get the chance at it again. There were also feelings that WCW's production were not on the same level of WWE, which would make them look inferior. Fair?
Yeah, okay.
Vince McMahon and WWE had put such a good product had put out such a good product for such a long time, explained Kevin Sullivan, one of WCW's top producers at the time. We see him in the show as well briefly. I'll point him out. I won't point him out because he's not going to be there, but I'll tell you which one he was. They were the top of the wrestling business. That meant that WCW had to do everything it could to establish itself as being different from WWE in every possible way. You're right. You're recovering yourself.
Sorry.
Otherwise, it would be looked at as a copycat.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most important thing, Hart explained. He's getting a lot of airtime in this article, isn't he?
God.
Otherwise, you were just going to see Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair and Randy Savage, but on a smaller scale than WWE.
Okay.
I realised WWE was selling a Mercedes-Benz, Sullivan added. I couldn't go and sell a Ford against it. But I could sell a Harley-Davidson. They're two vehicles with completely different niches. I believe there was a niche for WCW. That's quite an interesting way of putting it, actually.
It's a nice little comparison, actually.
Really is, isn't
Yeah.
it? So you're like, well, I'm still selling a motor, but of a different vehicle type entirely. So
Sure.
it's one that's not catered to by the WWE. And yeah, I would agree with that analogy.
Yeah.
Bischoff, after galvanising his staff, great word, into putting their full effort into launching Nitro, set out to gain any insight on what he could do to make his programme better than WWE. With the help of a crack Turner Broadcasting researcher, Bischoff saw something that kept coming up in the responses they got from potential viewers. The questions were things like, what do you like about professional wrestling? Bischoff wrote in Controversy Creates Cash. The answer, I like it when it's unpredictable. A motto that Vince Russo lives and dies by to this day. Unpredictable and spontaneous popped up over and over. People like surprises, apart from me at my 30th, especially in wrestling. Little did Eric Bischoff know, one of the biggest surprises in wrestling history was about to fall into his lap. Well, okay, right. Being a bit liberal with that, but okay. The first Nitro emanated from the Mall of America. WCW chose the shopping centre as its first venue for very specific reasons. Malls were hot at the time. I thought
Temperature hot?
no, I thought that was a stupid comment at first, but when
They're
you think
hot.
about it, yeah, exactly. It's, oh my god, it's so hot.
Oh my god.
So hot. So if you think about it though,
Yeah.
it was like people would go
Everyone
out,
goes
like,
there, yeah.
go out, hangs out in the mall, but it's like a dying thing these days. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of interesting to look back on and go, I felt nostalgic seeing a mall like
Yeah.
a shopping centre because
Shopping
it's just
centre.
not the same thing
Yeah.
anymore. So
Especially not here.
well, exactly not here. I mean, we had shopping centres, but malls to that scale, certainly
Yeah.
the scale of this, are night and day. It was the biggest mall in America. It made it look like we were coming from the largest venue other than arena.
Okay.
Agree to disagree. WCW was drawing okay, Hart said. Again, back to Hart. We knew we needed something that looked fresh, not just another audience in an arena. People were hanging over the balconies everywhere you could see. Okay. When the cameras panned around, it was magnificent. I did like the aesthetic of it. They're making it sound more grand than it was, but it did look cool. It looked different. Final bit. The
Oh.
Minneapolis.
this.
Minneapolis. There we go. The Minneapolis crowd. I think we can say Minneapolis. Minneapolis crowd was treated to a fantastic opening match, a fast-paced encounter between light heavyweight trailblazers Brian Pillman and Jushin Thunder Liger. Though fans were ready for a night of action, they had no idea what they were about to witness to. And I've cut it there.
Okay.
I'll come back to it later.
Oh, okay.
So that kind of sets the scene for how Nitro came to be and why they chose the shopping centre.
Yes.
And I'm going to say shopping centre to our American listeners. That's what we'd call it over here. Appreciating in the States it's called a mall, so I might flip between the two as we go through it. But when the show started, apart from the introduction, which we'll get to in a second, what was your first thought seeing that we were in a mall?
What the fuck?
What the fuck is fair?
Yeah, I was well confused. I was like, I watched it and I went, hang on. Now, bear in mind, obviously, Sunday I'd had a heavy night, right? As had
Well, hadn't
everyone
we
else.
all?
But I pride myself on being the most capable of handling that amount of booze. So I was
That's
okay.
not true. I don't think I was any
On
more
that
drunk than
note,
you.
I feel like maybe
I would just no.
a tiddly bit.
And I'll tell you why. Sorry, I'm going to defend myself on this one. I think it was the same, but for the first time, I didn't try and take the lead of
Yes,
sorting it out.
which actually was quite nice. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
It was
okay.
quite nice. So
Back to the
this
point.
was my evening, and I was like, oh my god, okay, we're like not focused. And then I watched it, and I was like, is this it really in a fucking shopping centre? And then after about 5 minutes, I kind of went, okay, I kind of get it why. That's really good English.
I was going to ignore that, but okay.
I kind of get it why.
of get it why.
All right.
What?
Chill out. Gosh. But yeah.
So so it was more of a negative than a positive for you?
I think so.
Really?
I don't know. Like I understand the
Okay.
logic. I do understand the logic, but there's people. Oh, that's such a pointless, stupid, dumb comment to say.
What were you going to say?
Well, there's people there that aren't actually there for the wrestling.
Well, yeah, of course.
God, fucking course they are, dickhead. I think it's best we just stop asking me my opinion.
Kind of, that would a little bit kill the podcast off.
I personally didn't like it. I
Okay.
understand why it was done that way. Did it therefore look better than actually it was? Yeah.
Okay. Right, I think that's fair.
In my humble opinion.
I was about to say it's impartial, but it is your opinion, so I guess
Yeah.
it isn't impartial in that respect.
I'm allowed my opinion.
You are allowed your opinion, absolutely. So, Holly, just like that, we find ourselves back in the world of WCW, more specifically the very first episode of Monday Nitro.
Mm-hmm.
Before we actually dive into the show, tell me what you know about Nitro in general and what, if any, expectations you had going in. Sorry, we're back on your opinion again.
What I know about Nitro.
What, in general?
It was a show.
Yep,
A weekly show
yep.
that had wrestlers on it
Box tick, yeah.
that were in WCW. Can you prep me if you're going to ask me questions? Make sure I'm ready for them, because this is not fair.
You could have just said, I didn't have any expectations, which is what you normally say.
That's what I knew.
But did you have any expectations?
Absolutely not. I'll be honest, having seen the first episode of Raw, it was a low bar.
Wow. Yeah, that's fair.
In my humble opinion.
That's far. That's far. That's fine. Okay, no, I'll give you that.
Yeah, thank you.
So the opening package of Nitro has always been a favourite of mine growing up. There were maybe one or two Raw openings that compare with it in my mind, but something about the setup to me was great. So we see a darkened street with explosions going off left and right, including on a manhole cover, as well as a set of traffic lights.
Yes, I did like that, actually.
Okay.
I did.
So what about it did you like?
Will you stop asking me questions that I'm not ready for?
If you say you like something, I'm going to...
It was a bit different. It was a bit darker. It was a bit darker. That's
grungy?
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that.
Sure.
Yeah, sure thing.
All the while this is occurring, we see images of some of WCW's top stars of this period, including Hogan, Sting and Vader, projected onto the buildings. Finally, we reach the climax, which is the WCW Monday Nitro metallic signboard engulfed in flames, with further explosions erupting from behind. The music is just about perfect for me as well. Now, I could be wrong, Holly, but I sense you enjoyed this.
Yeah, I did.
Did you enjoy it more, or did you enjoy the explanation of it more?
Both of them together, just what I needed on this lovely evening.
What, climaxes, eruptions from
girl
behind?
can dream.
Well, quite.
Well, maybe not eruptions from behind, but a climax will do.
Yeah, well, okay, yep. We'll move on. See what we have time for later. We continue with the metallic theme as the TNT Live and Minneapolis, Minnesota inserts appear in front of a city backdrop, with Eric Bischoff welcoming us to the land of 1,000 lakes. Now, anytime I hear the phrase "a land of 1,000 lakes," have you ever seen 40-Year-Old Virgin?
I haven't. It's a long time ago.
So Steve Carell in 40-Year-Old Virgin goes on that speed dating, and he's just talking to the women that come by, and one of the women who, let's say, is amply supplying in the testicular area.
Yeah, big jugs.
And I could be wrong, but I feel like she's linked to wrestling as well. I feel like she might have been married. I don't know if she was married to DDP.
Okay.
But that's not the point I was getting to. But she's talking about stuff, and as she's talking, she's laughing,
I see.
and then she comes out of the top.
Okay.
And Steve Carell's doing everything he can to not draw attention to it or look, and then just as she goes, "Yeah, so I'm originally from Minnesota," and he goes, "Yeah, I hear that's the land of 1,000 lakes." So anytime I hear that phrase, I think of him just looking up, looking very awkward about it. That's good for me, though. I'm thinking of his face and nothing else.
Yeah.
Genuinely as well. No, seriously. I'll tell you if that wasn't the case. Bischoff lets us know... What?
Such a dickhead.
Okay. Bischoff lets us know that this was the only venue big enough to accommodate the first edition of Monday Nitro.
Okay.
And whilst this is just nonsense, it did have a pretty cool aesthetic for the show to make it look unique, but I thought it was in a good way.
Okay.
Do I want it to be there every week? No.
Yeah.
But as a first outing, I thought that's fine. I appreciated what they were going for, perhaps more than you did.
Yes.
Alongside Bischoff, we see Steve Mongo McMichael.
Yeah.
And Holly, before you jump on me for insulting him, which is genuinely the former NFL star's nickname.
Okay.
Because
Because I did not have a clue who he was, and I didn't Google him because I'll be honest, I assumed you were going to hit me with some info.
story time.
Oh, okay.
Did you know that Steve McMichael in 1995 was also being courted by the WWF? Going into WrestleMania 11, he was involved with the storyline of Lawrence Taylor and Bam Bam Bigelow. Being a former NFL star, Mongo was used as an enforcer at the side of the WrestleMania 11 main eventer. It was understood that the WWF were keen to bring him to the company, but instead he went to WCW, where he was initially a colour commentator before transitioning to an in-ring career of his own.
Ah, yeah, because I've started watching
I know you have.
and I've seen
How well does that tie up?
clips of people, and still I was like, who are these people?
Mongo.
It makes perfect sense now.
Yep, that was his genuinely his nickname. So
Oh,
if you hear me
okay.
say that, everyone else will know who's
Yeah.
familiar with him.
Okay.
But I knew when I wrote that down, I was like, I'm going to have to explain to Holly that I'm not being really rude there. Bischoff welcomes Steve to the big time, which was a smarmy little dig befitting of the individual that said it at the time. Because obviously he'd already appeared on WWF by that point. So welcome to the big time. It's your first episode, calm down. But fine, that's fine. We can all rejoice as walking into shot going, whoa, whoa, whoa. We see the best colour commentator of all time. And Holly, if I see you pull that face again, I'm going to throw my phone at your head. Bobby Heenan.
Mm-hmm.
He shakes Mongo's hand, so he's allowed onto the first episode of Nitro, though.
Mm.
Is he the only person to appear on both the first episode of Monday Night Raw? No, he's not. Savage.
Mm-hmm.
Your man Savage.
Yes,
Don't
absolutely.
worry. We get to a bit of Randy Savage later, ladies and
Good.
gentlemen.
Good indeed.
A few shit impressions will be had, I'm sure. He shakes Mongo's hand, but he has one of those electric hand shockers on because he's a child and tells Heenan to never underestimate him whilst tiddling his fingers in his direction in a wave. Not good. Heenan says he was a big fan of Mongo, but Bischoff says, now why don't you tell him what you said about him yesterday? And Heenan is flustered. What did you think about seeing Heenan on this?
I'm sorry. I'm not there yet. I'm
Oh.
not. I don't know when it's going to hit, if it ever hits.
Oh, it needs to hit.
I'm not. It's your fault.
Why?
This is all your fault.
What do you mean? You suggested the podcast. What do you mean it's my fault?
You gave me Jesse.
I gave you Jesse twice.
Yes, but then now you're trying to replace him,
Gorilla.
and it's just not. It's not there yet.
I'm not trying to do anything.
Well,
Society tried to replace Jesse.
livid.
Yes. Well, oh, that's interesting. At the show we went to, we actually saw someone who rocked the same hairstyle as Jesse
Off.
in a pub. We did.
Yeah,
Tell
we
me.
did.
And honestly, you should have seen Holly's face. I've never
So
seen a haircut
upset.
like it before, and now I've seen one already on someone else, and it was a
Yeah.
thing of beauty. But
Yes.
straight into an opening match
Yes.
after that.
Good.
Pleased?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so we already know that you know one of these guys.
Yeah, and it's not the fucking Rock, is it? I'm still going to keep coming back to that comment.
Wait, what? That wasn't Dwayne Johnson?
No, I know Flying Brian.
Flying Brian, look at that. Now tell me what you know of Jushin Thunder Liger.
Nothing.
Okay, good. I've got some stories for you in a minute.
Gosh.
So for the first time on the Win Twice podcast, should clarify the opening match, Jushin Thunder Liger versus Flying Brian. For the first time on the Win Twice podcast, we get to see Jushin Thunder Liger. For background information, Holly, I've taken this snippet from the WWE website also for you,
Ooh,
as he is a Hall of Famer.
you are fancy.
Thank you. A revolutionary aerialist with the most striking ring gear in all of professional wrestling, Jushin Thunder Liger mocked gravity while besting the globe's top flyers in a career that has spanned 5 decades. Whether tangling with Great Muta in the rings of Japan or pushing Brian Pillman to the limit in WCW, this one-of-a-kind competitor appeared to be a superhero come to life. If Liger looked like a character sprung from a seizure-inducing Japanese cartoon, it wasn't an accident. Verbatim, this is from the website, by the way. His persona was directly inspired by a popular anime of the same name. This wasn't an uncommon practice in Japan. Both Tiger Mask and Vader were based on animated characters as the lights dip in the room ominously.
Yeah, that's a bit creepy.
You saw that, wasn't it?
That's creepy.
As I'm talking about seizure-inducing and then the lights
yeah,
dip.
that's creepy.
And it helped endear Liger to a young fan base. His distinctive horned mask and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers bodysuit may have turned heads, but it was Liger's fantastic talent in the ring that made him more than just a gimmick. A fearless innovator who had the nerve to create the shooting star press.
Oh.
There you go, I knew that would be the bit that you would take from
Yeah.
this. Liger devastated opponents with a mix of impactful top rope manoeuvres and blunt martial arts strikes. First emerging as a star in Japan in the late 1980s, Liger beat noted light heavyweights like Hiroshi Hase, Ultimo Dragon and Shinjiro Otani en route to capturing the coveted IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship a record 11 times, which is the NJPW's lighter weights title, but it's considered to be far more prestigious than like the WWF or WWE Cruiserweight title, for example.
Okay.
In some instances, Jushin Liger was so good as the champion, the title was considered to be as important, if not more important, than the actual heavyweight title in the promotion. So that gives you a bit of context there. Considered among the top wrestlers in the world in the early 90s, he made his name stateside in WCW in 91, during a rivalry with the talented Brian Pillman that introduced breathtaking lightweight action to the promotion long before the institution of the Cruiserweight title. That's an interesting choice of wording. But yes, a bit of background on Jushin Thunder Liger for you.
Thank you very much.
Don't quite know why I'm gesticulating with my arms there, but there you go.
Could be worse.
Could be worse.
Do it with your legs.
I don't know, like, how would you just gesticulate a thing with the
I
legs?
think it's best we don't do that right now.
So the first thing to really note here is that he had already worked with Brian Pillman.
Okay.
So going into this.
Mm-hmm.
And the two had built up good chemistry prior to this event.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of Liger's outfit?
It's pretty decent.
Yeah?
Would I say it's the best I've ever seen so far? Absolutely not.
What would you say is the
come
best you've
on,
ever
you
seen
know,
so far?
You know who. I'd need a list to tell you, but it's all from one man.
Randy Savage?
Oh, all fucking day long. All day long. Love me some glitz, a bit of a sequin. Only on him though, just not let's be clear, not in general.
So don't slip into Holly's DMs with sequins and glitter and stuff like that. It's not what she's asking
But if
for.
if you're a fancy dress and you're dressed up as Savage, alright.
Okay,
I like it.
fine. No, nothing wrong with that.
Thank you.
Much like his international opponent, Brian emerges from near the Great Train Store.
Okay.
I already know exactly what the clientele of that shop would look like, and Holly, it amuses me.
Okay.
Thoughts?
I'm not. No.
Okay.
We're moving.
The clash of gear colours strikes me,
Mm-hmm.
because they're both wearing similar, I don't know.
It wasn't a contrast, was it?
No, it was a clash, very much, and not of the champions. As the match begins, and we see Liger flip out beautifully of an arm wringer before applying one of his own. I guess before actually I go further into the match, you knew nothing of Jushin Thunder Liger. I don't even know if you've heard of the guy before, let alone seen him.
No, and I was struggling because they don't put the names of people up.
Yeah, they don't.
Well, they do, but they're not like pronto.
Yes.
So I'm literally hovering on my phone going,
Oh God,
who
what
the
did you call
fuck
him?
is this? No, I went back and
Okay, fine.
and put it in, but stop it. Keep going.
So,
God, kill me now. This is why we don't do this in an evening, because my brain stops working and I say shit that I just shouldn't say.
no, I'm saying it's fine. You went back in, you popped it in, it's fine. I actually had to do that with something else because I wrote down someone's name wrong and then
Oh,
went
did
back and
you?
changed it because I was being
Okay.
stupid. But I guess when you saw his stature and who he was going against,
Yeah.
you must have had some sort of preconception about what kind of match we were going to
Yeah,
get.
more of a high flying.
Yes.
One that I might like, maybe.
Yes. Probably the only one on the show, in fact, out of the three that we see. Side headlock leads to Pillman being whipped into a corner with Jushin following in with a rolling Liger kick.
Yes.
I hear Mongo say, "Athletes!" one more time on commentary as Liger chops Pillman hard. Up and over goes Liger in the corner before sprinting to the opposite corner and hitting a moonsault to the standing Pillman. Not the best connection, but still nice to see.
It did look like Flying Brian had to effectively pull him in a little bit to make it look like it actually connected.
Well,
but
either
you
that
know
or he was
what?
taking a knee or shin to the face.
Exactly. Oh.
Found it. Near fall for the masked man. Reverse chin lock now by Liger, and I hear Mongo call Heenan Bobby the Stain, and I'm now in attack mode.
Oh dear.
Yeah, you got bullets coming your way later. Up goes Brian in the corner, but instead of going over, he turns it into a head scissors takedown. Flying Brian opens up his very own cruiserweight butchers as the chops start to fly. Whip into the corner, but Brian gets the boots up on a Liger charge before we get a very unfortunate Hurricane Rana from the middle rope, with Brian going one way and Liger selling the other.
Which they call out on commentary.
2 count as Heenan says that didn't land right.
Okay. Which I thought, again, I know we've all got eyes, we can see, but for your commentary team to also go effectively, cool, that was a bit of shit.
Well, either that or you're getting Vince going, "What a manoeuvre!" We get a seated abdominal stretch by Brian as Bobby asks, "Is Bronco going to be here every week?" Referring to McMichael. Mongo calls him Bobby Hernia this time, and the Brain says, "Oh, we're resorting to names now, are we? Okay." Reversal on the whip sees Liger hit a drop toe hold before applying a surfboard stretch.
I like those.
Yeah, I know you do. Mongo says that Bobby wouldn't have seen Butter. No.
Oh, okay.
He probably has seen Butter, to be fair. Mongo says that Bobby wouldn't have seen better surfing since before the days he carried an extra 40 pounds around his belly. Heenan says he doesn't surf, he has someone to do that for him. Head scissors takedown by... Don't you shake your head.
Sorry.
Head scissors takedown by Brian, who's shortly backdropped to the floor, kind of. Liger hits a beautiful running senton from the apron to the floor and looks to suplex Brian back into the ring, but it's the American that suplexes Liger to the floor instead, kind of. He kind of pulls him over. It's not a full suplex, but that's the idea behind it. Up top goes Pillman and connects with a crossbody all the way to the floor. Holly cheers.
Yep.
Back up top Pillman goes, but Liger crotches him on the top rope before hitting a superplex. Near fall for Liger. It's getting better. Up to the top goes Liger now, but he leaps right into a drop kick that earns a 2 count. I like this. Powerbomb with a pin by Liger also gets a 2. One more athletes on commentary from our boy. With Brian sat on the buckles, Liger hits a super Hurricane Rana for an incredibly close near fall.
That's lovely.
It really was. It was good. Liger sits Brian on the buckles once more, but this time it's countered with a tornado DDT. 1, 2, nope, not enough. Waistlock go behind sees Liger look to hit a German suplex, but it's countered into a victory roll pin, and although not the cleanest cover, it is enough to get the 1, 2, 3 for Flying Brian.
Yep.
Didn't like the pin ending because I didn't believe at any point that Liger couldn't have gotten out, personally. But, what do you think of the match?
I did like it. I'd have to put, it was alright. Good way to start the show.
Okay.
And it's interesting to, like, for this one, when it finished, I didn't go back and rescore or anything because, I can't be asked. But
at least you're honest.
But I was a bit like, oh, okay. Yeah, this is how it starts.
How it was so much better than Raw already.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not saying it's not.
Fine. But we're coming off the high of WrestleMania 10.
This is the problem we're going to have.
I see.
For sure.
Wow, good job we didn't go straight into WrestleMania 11. Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. So, what is your scoring? What star rating are you giving it?
Overscored it.
Overscored
because I think I was initially, when I'm typing it, I was like, oh, it's this. And then I thought, get WrestleMania 10 out your fucking head.
Okay.
So, and again, I did with Raw, like I have to take these separately.
Fine.
Because it's not the same sort of show.
Sensible.
I gave it 2 out of 5. I told you I overscored it.
Over?
Yeah, do you think that's under?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't look up Dave Meltzer's scoring for this the show, but if I'm grading it, 2's low. I feel like it's.
But 2.5 is like in the middle.
Yeah, and I think
So
for this era.
Oh, okay, yeah, fine.
I think 2.75.
Okay.
If the botch hadn't happened, I'd probably go 3.
Oh, okay.
But
bold.
I mean, for this era as well, you didn't see this kind of stateside, at least. You did not see this kind of action.
Okay.
So it would have been quite exciting.
I wouldn't know that. So
no, true. So you can only judge it by what you see before you. And like I said, you could have called it 0.25 stars, and really, that's your choice.
My opinion.
Exactly. What does it matter? No, as in not your opinion. As in not as in your opinion doesn't matter.
I know what you mean.
Fucking hell.
I know what you mean.
Bloody hell. So the two men shake hands after the match, and Brian raises Liger's hand in a show of good sportsmanship.
Yes.
If the fans weren't right, okay, this is a verbatim quote.
Okay.
If the fans weren't turned into this, they didn't see a match worth watching. Cool, thanks for that. A sentence that has so many negatives, it took me a while to unpack what was being offered here by Mongo, but that is what he said. What did you think of him on commentary, by the way?
I'll be honest, I didn't care for
any of them. Oh, Bischoff I can get, not caring about. Steve McMichael I can get feeling strongly about.
I know whenever I say anything that involves Heenan, you'd disagree, and that's fine. And I'm sure at some point it will hit, and I'll go, oh.
And you know what? If it doesn't, that's your opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah. From here,
Mm-hmm.
Sting promo.
Okay.
Well,
Is it?
is it? So I've got one note on this. Very brief picture-in-picture Sting promo, as he says that there's nobody better at walking that aisle and getting in Ric Flair's face. And nobody that is better at putting the Scorpion Deathlock on him. Yeah!
Jeez.
Not a good promo, but had little chance with how short it was.
Uh-huh. I don't think he blinks the whole time either. But
No, he
never
doesn't.
mind.
He's wide-eyed.
That's all I could look at was his eyes.
Yeah, he's very wide-eyed, and he's actually doing it in front of the fans at some point, so I don't know when they filmed that, because you could see he was in the shopping centre, but I didn't see the point. Just go away from it, because it was shit. Didn't get me excited for anything.
But then it might have made the next one a bit longer, which I could have done without.
Oh, God, yeah. So the next one, Holly, tell me, please, pray tell me,
What is this?
what you know of Pastamania, brother.
Oh, honestly, this was the most ludicrous thing I think I've ever seen.
You know it's real, by the way. No,
Hit me with that, because I
Pastamania, I swear to God, was a
I've
shot.
seen people messaging about it as well.
Yes, Holly, that's correct. There was genuinely a shop in the Mall of America called Pastamania, themed around Hulk Hogan. As you can imagine, it was as shit as it sounded and didn't last very long. But
Well, I like pasta, so
I like
on board,
pasta, but I feel like
How could it be themed on him though? Like, was it all yellow and red?
it was yellow and red, and they were called like Hulkaroos, which he references about 58 times,
He does, doesn't he?
and Hulka Gnocchi, or Hulka
Ugh.
Tagliatelle, or Hulka...
Hulkanara.
Ooh, yeah, chicken Hulkanara. Okay, what else have we got in there? Spaghetti Hulkanaise.
Okay.
Okay, right, there's other stuff.
I'm so shit at this. So this I'll go
Lasagne
silent.
Hulk? That doesn't really work. That doesn't got the same ring to
No.
it. Fettuccine Al Hogan. It's just they're being
yeah.
shoehorned in, aren't they? But yes, genuinely a thing. Of all the foods,
Oh,
what would you... Okay,
okay.
you're thinking about Hulk Hogan. We're in the branding office right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan, right, I've got...
Yeah.
Holly, we need to do some marketing. We need to come up with a restaurant
Okay.
themed around Hulk Hogan.
Nice.
What food are we doing?
Old steak. Why is he laughing so hard? Come on, don't tell me you don't look at him and think, oh, that's a 28-day aged rump. Come on. And the colour of him is the colour of a steak. Don't leave me here while you're laughing. I need you to say words.
I honestly can't... don't know what I was expecting you to say there, but old steak.
You're crying.
Fuck me, the
I don't think I've ever made you laugh this
looking
hard.
ginger bastard. Oh, that's amazing.
That's a good suggestion though, right?
It's Holly. It's the best fucking sentence that's ever left a human being's mouth. Old steak, not steakhouse.
No.
Old steak. But it was immediate. You were there.
Yeah.
You knew the answer before I finished the question.
That's what I think of when I look at him though.
So do you know what's brilliant about this? I was thinking duck a la ranch, to be honest.
Okay.
But the best thing about that, for anyone who isn't in the room, which is everyone that isn't us right now, is that when I ask Holly a question, Holly's eyes can tell no lies, basically.
That's very true.
They will give the game away immediately. If she's panicked by a question,
We all know.
her eyes start rattling around the room like kind of flies around a light bulb. And that time, she didn't blink.
No.
She didn't look phased. Before I even got to the actual, ironically, meat of the question,
Yeah.
you had that already lined up in the chamber.
As soon as you literally started saying, right, okay, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm in here. It's got to be steak. Genuinely, that's what I would... When you see his back sometimes and he's doing the old, like, muscle stuff, do you not think it looks like a
Sirloin.
bit of steak?
T-bone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah,
See?
what are the side dishes with that?
Ooh.
Because
Oh,
the
that's not
steakhouse...
because I'm hungry, so this could really
I'll tell you what, though.
segue.
That has not discouraged me from asking you questions like this going forward. Because that was fucking sensational, is what that was, Holly.
Thank you.
Never change.
That's going to be the peak of
Never
my
change.
input of this
That's
whole
Jamie's
going
going to fucking wet himself listening to that back. Do you know what? We could end the show there, quite frankly. That's how good that was. A very excited Hulk Hogan, alongside a Holly favourite, Jimmy Hart, is being swarmed by fans, and he asked them who the best wrestler in the world is, before going on to inform us that for the first time on Nitro, he will defend the WCW World title against Big Bubba. No shit.
Mm-hmm.
First ever episode of Nitro. Of course it's going to be the first time, you dopey slut. I could be wrong, but it sounds like he says, and with pastamania running through my brain, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Not veins, through his brain. Hogan says after he beats Bubba, he will drag his body through the mall, where all the pastamaniacs will be tearing off their shirts. He will force feed him pasta and body slam him again. Sounds like a cult activity, this. I'll be honest. Like, and then they all commit like a ritual mass murder or something at the end. Hulk... Okay, so Hulk points out that he has trimmed down, which makes it sound like it was intentional, not that he stopped injecting steroids in his arse. He suggests that pasta has helped him, which, as you know, Holly, is the remarkably slimming carbohydrate.
Oh my god, I wish it was.
Yeah, I mean, pasta's fine. Like, I'm okay with it.
Food groups.
Well, exactly. Anything
that.
beige gets on the plate of Holly, that's for sure. Not even knocking that, to be honest.
Okay.
So yeah, run me through your thought process for Pastamania.
This was... Oh, I can't even. Like, this is so
Old steak.
ridiculous. You like that, didn't you?
Holly,
Oh,
I
I'm
can't
so
even
glad.
do it.
Put that on a t-shirt.
I don't think you've ever... 100% that's a t-shirt. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, if we ever do like a merchandise shop, there's few things. And do you know how many of them I've said? 0. 0 of the things that will go on a shirt would be from anything I've said. So
Yeah, but that's because I say dumb shit.
No, not dumb shit, that's old steak. Old steak Hogan. That's it, that's the shirt. Right, anyway, Pastamania.
Stupid.
Did it just get you thinking, ooh, when am I next
It
having
just got me
pasta?
hungry, I'll be
Of course it
honest.
did.
Especially as I was watching this on Monday Arvo. I was like, I am peckish.
I reckon, like, when they go, like, oh, spaghetti and meatballs, I don't think they fuck around with it at Pastamania. I reckon it's one of those, you know, so you get like 6 or 7 smaller, manageable
Oh,
meatballs.
no, that's a big one.
No, I don't think it's that. I think you get the fuck off meteor, like a
just
massive,
one.
massive fuck off ball,
That made me sad.
just in a sea of pasta. Because it's Hulk, you've got bigger is better, brother. 24-inch meatballs.
That's what they all say.
Well, not everyone who can't deliver on that promise, but I imagine that all the while you were just thinking, "Fuck me, I hate Jimmy Hart. When am I next having pasta?"
I literally was starving, so yeah.
Had you not had your
No.
treat meal?
No,
oh,
I
wow,
hadn't.
Yeah, fair enough.
I hadn't eaten full stop since
What did I eat?
like
Chocolate pudding.
2 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah, chocolate pudding at 2 a.m. What had I eaten?
Nothing apart from luncheon.
Yeah, that was a mistake in hindsight. We maybe need to change that up this time. From there, second match.
Yeah, cool.
Wow, right away. Okay,
Sorry.
and these are two people that you're okay with for the most
Yeah,
part.
I was okay. I'll be quiet. Maybe I'm misremembering this.
So what was the match?
Oh god, the match was Ric Flair versus Sting.
For the US Championship, I believe.
Sure.
Well, obviously, eye for detail, Holly. You can see why
I don't write down what they're fighting for.
Because what they're fighting for.
I need to stop talking.
They're fighting for love, Holly. That's what they're fighting for. For a shoulder to cry on.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
with seeing Sting and Ric Flair come out, so we're still in the top fade of Sting era. He hadn't yet turned into the Crow Sting.
I like this Sting.
Okay, someone had to.
As in, he's in this. He looks a bit like a good-looking lad
I think he's probably is a good-looking bloke.
before he goes into the next gimmick or whatever. That's
Okay.
not for me.
Fair enough. No, each their own.
Yeah.
Ric Flair, personally, I don't think he's a good-looking man, but that's
He's
not what I'm here
always
to judge
been
on.
70, right?
He was born 70, yeah. Yes, Rambling Ricky Rhodes back in the day. But
Yes.
when you saw that these two were on the docket,
Unfortunately, it did raise my expectation.
yeah, because you haven't actually seen a Sting and Ric Flair match.
I haven't. No.
Oh, this is the one you saw as well.
I literally was like, oh, okay, we're in, strapped in. I didn't need to
Strapped in, strap on.
No, thank you. Stop it.
So this is a classic WCW feud.
Okay.
Or going back even before that, kind of NWA, the dying days of that before WCW got involved, etc., etc.
Yes.
But Sting and Ric Flair, and it's so close to being poetic in many respects, because do you know what the last ever match on a Nitro was? When they closed up shop in March 2001.
These two?
Sting versus Ric Flair.
Okay.
And it's always remembered as the match in which Ric Flair wore a fucking t-shirt. Because he didn't bring his gear. Because he didn't think he was going to be wrestling.
Oh,
So
did he have to do Lost Property?
He had to lost property and he was really unhappy with his physical shape, so he
okay.
put on a t-shirt.
Person.
Yeah, I'd be a t-shirt wrestler, for sure.
T-shirt and pants?
Yeah.
Oh, we know how I feel
Oh, I
about
like my
t-shirt
legs,
and
to be fair.
pants,
My legs are
isn't
fine. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to be smothering, like, oh, what's your finishing move called? It's called the choke 'em out with my tits. I don't
be
think that'd be.
unique. I don't think anyone else does it.
Yeah, there's a fucking reason.
They always use their arse.
Yeah.
Use your titties.
Well, to be fair, no, thanks for that confidence boost. I could do the Naomi rear view and just drop it like it's hot.
But
I
do
shouldn't
it
say
at the
that.
front.
Just
Like a chest bump into
God.
the face.
Just like okay, I can make that work. Might need to be shown some pointers. So if anyone's looking to teach me on how to smother a man in a wrestling match with my tits, I'm all ears and tits apparently. So as I said, a classic WCW encounter right here. I'm getting paranoid now. I'm going to start
stop.
of Sting and Ric Flair. No, you were. No, I know you were. I'm just not moving my arm there. First question right off the bat, Holly.
Yes.
Who wore it better, Flair or Sting? Ring
Sting.
attire.
Sting, 100%.
Over the robe? Okay.
Yeah, his jacket was phenomenal.
Both are bedazzled to shit.
Yeah,
that's fair
but
to say.
Sting's just peaked for me.
Okay, I'm going to be the one to say it. I'm sure there are people that disagree with me, people that agree with me. I'm really not a fan of the short-haired Flair.
Okay.
I do not like this look.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of the top fade of Sting either, to be honest. But, because there's a transitional phase for Sting. He goes between this, before he goes to the crow and like the dark Sting, his hair goes, he lets it go brown again, and it kind of is a similar length to how he has it now, obviously fuller.
Yeah.
So it's like brown and kind of wavy a little bit, which I think is a better look than this.
I don't know if I probably will have seen it because I watched the stuff on him through the the years, but not watched it properly.
As we dive through the time machine of WCW, we will see that version of Sting for sure. Hang on a second. As the bell sounds, the cameras take us up the aisle, where we see Lex Luger, wearing the same attire as gentrified men of the 18th century. He is standing with his hands on his hips, staring at the men in the ring. Bischoff says, "What's he doing here? Get the cameras off him," playing up to the idea he is a WWF guy that has randomly appeared.
I see.
So to you, that really doesn't mean anything, does it? Because he's just there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got a bit of a background story on this for you.
Okay.
So it starts off with a quote from Luger. He says, "It was all Sting," Lex Luger said with a hearty laugh. "It was all his fault." As WCW readied Nitro, the powerhouse known as the Total Package was in the midst of a big run with WWE. I wouldn't say big run, to be honest. After leaving WCW in '92, Luger famously landed on the deck of the USS Intrepid and body slammed the massive WWE champion Yokozuna. I think we referenced that before.
Yeah.
Setting off a summer-long tour across America in a bus dubbed the Lex Express, which I also mentioned to you. Though Luger's WWE title aspirations cooled off by spring '94, which was WrestleMania 10, he was still happy in WWE, also exclaimed. "I was hoping to end my career with the company," Luger told WWEclassics.com. "Vince and I had a great relationship. When Luger's WWE contract came up for negotiation in early '95, things hit a snag." You look confused.
I've got a question, but I'm going to wait till you finish because.
Do you want to ask it now? Because it might not be addressed in
Am I being
this.
stupid? So, WrestleMania 10
Yep.
happened.
Yes.
Is this in between 10 and 11?
No.
When is this?
This is after 11.
Oh, thank you.
Opening match of
this
11.
Is what I think this is where I'm getting confused.
Opening
'cause
match
I've
of 11's got
started
Luger,
watching 11,
doesn't it?
yeah.
With Bulldog.
Yes.
Yes.
Well remembered.
Allied Powers.
Sure. I don't know what that
Got it.
is. But...
That's the tag team name.
Oh, of those two?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Okay, cool. Because it's UK and US.
Sure.
Allied Power. Okay. So, yes, this was after that. So we watched
Okay.
that. So that's April. This is September of that year.
Oh, okay, cool.
But his contract came up in the early part of '95,
Okay.
which we'll kind of elaborate on a little bit here. So I was trying to negotiate some things outside of wrestling, Luger explained. Because of that, we hadn't worked out a new contract. My old one expired and I was working on a handshake for 6 months. It was unheard of. So he was without a contract, official formal contract with the WWF for 6 months. So a lot of people believe that the reason why Luger wasn't pushed as highly and consistently as he was expecting and probably led to believe was, let's be fair, the crowd reaction was a massive thing. Holly just whispered because he wasn't very good. I agree. He's had some decent matches back in the day, but I'm talking late 80s, early 90s is some of his better stuff. Anything on from that, take it or leave it.
It's personally just not for me. I'm sure that's not the case, but personally not for me.
I think more people would probably agree than disagree with that. But as we get onto his latter stuff, I agree. So I was Bret Hart all the way, as I told you before, and I think most people were. We heard it with the crowd. Yes. And Lex did want to start looking, I think he was looking at nutrition company, setting up his own business. When people start to suggest around Vince McMahon that they're looking to do business outside of the WWF, Vince takes that as no, they're not committed to us properly. I can't get my fingers in that pie, as it were. I'm not really going to use you to your best. So Lex didn't really get used properly. So we've already seen the peak WrestleMania 10, and look how miserable he looks. That's his peak.
Oh, yeah.
After the Lex Express,
right.
slamming Yokozuna was this big coming out thing, and the USS Intrepid. Everything else from down here in WWF goes downhill for him.
Okay.
But he's on a handshake deal. A conversation between Luger and Sting, one of his closest friends, which is true. They used to work out together quite a lot. I think they're a member of the same gym. Set things in motion. The Stinger couldn't believe that Luger was working on a handshake. He was astonished, Luger said. He asked if he could call me back and called Eric Bischoff to let him know because of Nitro. Bischoff at first wasn't even considering bringing the total package back to WCW. I never really liked Lex that much, the WCW executive wrote in his book. He treated people badly and had too high an opinion of himself. Today, Luger's quick to agree with that assessment. Back then I was much more all about me, he said. However, after a series of clandestine meetings, Bischoff and Luger agreed on the deal to bring the total package back to WCW. Before pen was put to paper, though, Bischoff had one caveat. He wanted Luger to not give notice to WWE. They knew the way the internet was even back then, which would have been very formative days if we're talking 95. If I gave notice, it would still have ruined the big surprise. Luger said, still, the total package had misgivings about the whole situation, despite being free to do so, given his handshake agreement. He felt it went against how he had been brought up in the business. As the debut of WCW Nitro neared in September 95, Luger had travelled to Canada's Maritimes for a weekend of WWE live events. Lex made what turned out to be last-ditch efforts at finalising a new deal with WWE, which were fruitless. He left Moncton, New Brunswick, and WWE, heading into Minneapolis for what would be a historic night. So he literally went from appearing at a WWE house show to rocking up at WCW Nitro. So now it has a bit more of
Okay, yeah.
But, as you said, where are they filming this?
In
a shopping centre. How many of those people would go, oh, God, that's massive? How many of them knew really about it? There were obviously fans there. You can hear them, unless they've been piped in, which I don't think they were. You could hear people getting invested in him. But imagine if it was in an arena where people are going, oh my God, that's...
like an enclosed space.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So, bit of background for you on that. Hopefully that was all right. You didn't fall asleep, so that's good.
I'm still here.
The fans start chanting Luger as Bischoff demands security to take him away. Sting and Flair look on before returning their attention to one another in the ring. The two lock up and Sting ends up backed into the corner where he yells!
Jesus Christ.
I leant away from the microphone. That's going to be a problem for your ears. I will make sure I minimise some of the sound in this.
Okay.
Probably. Side headlock by Flair, push off and shoulder tackle sends Sting down. Drop down and leapfrog, Holly cheers.
Yay.
Make it twice, win twice, and we get a military press slam on the Nature Boy.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so I'm glad you said this, because I nearly messaged you and said, if I see another fucking military slam...
The first one, I've even put very good,
First
very nice.
three I gave him.
Very good, very nice.
Very nice, very evil.
And then, as it progresses, I become less complimentary.
Off the ropes again. I want you to make... Okay, so every time, because I will reference every military press we see, I want you to make the noise that you either made out loud or went through your head for each one. So it starts with a... Oh, yeah. Okay, right. Off the ropes again, and a second military press.
Okay.
Hip toss out the corner, and a drop kick sends Flair to the outside. After the challenger takes some time on the outside, he returns to the ring and thumbs Sting in the eye off a knuckle lock.
Boo.
The Nature Boy Butchers is unpacking the chops in the corner with a right hand for good measure.
I have a question.
Go for it.
When did the woo chops start? Because no one woos at this point.
Because no one fucking knows what's going on. That's why. No, the woo chops have been a thing for us.
But I just assume every time he cracks out a chop, why are people not wooing?
It was already well established as a thing by now.
Okay.
I'm sure of it.
I was very sad that I didn't hear one single woo.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a good...
But
he didn't put his fingers up his bum and like make sure it was airtight, did he?
Did a little prostate exam while he was there.
Yeah, you're clean as a whistle, Sting. Sorry about no gloves. Sting no-sells a chop.
Yes.
He no-sells a punch. and the following flurry of punches before flexing in the Nature Boy's face as Flair begins to back off. This is something Sting would often do against Flair.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Fine.
Didn't care.
Not really. It's not as good as, like, I know it's completely different eras, but Samoa Joe with his, like, get up and walk away before people leap on him. I love that.
Or,
I just, funny.
as my missus called him yesterday, Samosa Joe.
Fucking love it.
And then she defended it by saying, well, he looks like he eats them. And I went, well, yes.
Okay.
But don't we all look like we eat samosas? You married someone who looks like they eat samosas. On the outside, no. Oh, no, sorry, I nearly took that away from you. A third military press by Sting.
Oh, God.
But he is quickly hit with a kick to the gut.
Good.
After a mix-up on the rope run, Flair connects with a crossbody that sends both men over the top to the floor. I assumed you thought that was all right?
Yeah, I didn't mind that.
Okay. On the outside, Flair delivers a chop, but no sell from the champion once more. He can't no sell a thumb to the eye, though.
Boo.
Flair charges at Sting, who now military presses Nature Boy and deposits him back in the ring.
Off. Bored now.
Flair is begging... Are you just referencing one of our commenters there? Bored now.
Oh, no,
There you
I
go.
wasn't.
Flair is begging off as Sting has a huge smile on his face. Stinger's splash misses, but no need to sell again, and he follows up with a running bulldog. On the second corner charge, Flair has the elbow up. With Sting down, we go to a commercial break. Holly's laughing.
No, I can see my notes are coming for the next one.
Okay. We are now back live, and we see projected spinning WCW logos on the ceiling of them all as we get a high-angled shot down into the ring on the ground floor.
That I quite like.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
That was good. Flair goes up to the top rope, but gets cut off with a military press.
Fucking boring.
Yet another military press is delivered to Flair.
Honestly, my note says, oh, cool. The 500th time I've seen that in one match.
2 count.
It just makes it look less impressive if you
course it does.
continuously do the same thing over and over again.
And ironically, it's actually more impressive that he's still doing it over and over
and
again.
I understand that logically.
Yeah.
But it's...
No, I agree.
Nah, not for me.
I agree. Now we see the enforcer, Arn Anderson, make his way to the ring.
Sure.
We haven't seen him on a show since WrestleMania 5.
No, that's incorrect. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, shit! Raw. No,
Yeah.
it wasn't Raw. It was...
It's something... He's in... When Flair's the special
Judgment
guest
Day?
ref with his red boots.
Is it Judgment Day?
I think so. I can't
Undertaker
remember.
and
You're asking
Stone
a girl
Cold.
that can't remember anything.
Oh, that's
but,
true.
So, but I
God
do
bless you.
remember we've seen him. He don't do anything, but we've seen him.
That is a tremendous shout, and I'm really quite proud that you
Thank
called me
you.
out on that, actually.
Thank you.
Sting takes flight from the top rope, but misses and lands hard on the canvas. Delayed vertical suplex by the Nature Boy, but Sting is right back up and hits 2 clotheslines. Corner whip sends Flair up and over to the apron, where he runs straight into another clothesline.
I love that. I really like it when he does that.
And at least you see where Charlotte gets it from now.
Exactly.
Sesame Street punches in the corner with a big hip toss sends Flair across the ring. Flair is sat on the top buckles, but rakes the eye of the champion. Flair adjusts his positioning, but I have no clue what for. Sting is shoved back down to the canvas. Attempted hip toss by Flair is blocked, as is Sting's right after. Side headlock takedown by Flair, but Sting transitions to a head scissors. Pinning attempt now by Flair, but Sting powers up and Holly is impressed.
I do like that.
It is impressive.
It is very impressive.
From there we get a backslide pin attempt, gets a 2 for the champ. Flair is sat back on the top of the buckles, and I believe this is what Sting almost preemptively went to, which is why Flair looked awkward as shit up on the ropes a moment ago.
Okay.
If I'm a betting man, which I say a lot. Flair sat back on top of the buckles, and Sting follows up, connecting with a very nice superplex. Sting challenges Arn to step into the ring, allowing Nature Boy to hit a chop block before applying the figure 4 leg lock. He rapidly beats his chest in the hold and tries to turn it over until Flair grabs the ropes. After the count of the ref proves unsuccessful, the bell is rung for a disqualification.
Okay, thank you, because I don't understand why.
Yeah, because Flair refused to let go of the
Is
ropes.
that what? Okay.
And the ref then was physically trying to pull him off before he even disqualified him and went, alright, okay, this is done.
Okay, cool.
DQ. With Flair not releasing the hold, I'll get to that bit in a second.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yes.
thoughts on the match?
Well, that was upsetting.
Yeah.
I just, I know I always say this, I always say I have a low expectation, but then when you see 2 people, and I just expected this particular one to be great.
Decent.
I guess.
Great. Wow.
Well, because
okay.
it's the first episode of something new, like, wouldn't you want to prove that it's going to be epic?
The
like,
irony of the first match being the best one, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
a really hard, like, a really hard, yeah. I don't know how else.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, carry on. Really hard, yeah.
Like, I was really disappointed by this. Really, and I get it. Like, it's a shorter show. You've not got a lot of time. Fine. But I don't need to see the same move 25 times.
I'll be honest, that was piss poor.
Yeah.
Sorry, not the match. The match was okay. I'll give you my rating on it.
Yeah.
I think you might go lower. 2.
I'm lower, yeah.
2, because apart from that bit of a miscommunication on the ropes, it was fine, but the military press was done to death. Ending, didn't care for.
No.
It's TV, fine.
Yes.
I'm more forgiving on a TV show for disqualifications and stuff.
Makes sense.
So that's why I'll go 2.
Yeah.
Because 2.5 would suggest I went, it was alright. And I kind of went, so that's why I landed on 2.
I only went a little bit lower.
1.75?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think at least we're kind of aligned with that.
Yeah.
We were closer with this one than we were the first.
Yeah, I'd literally put some of the moves were decent. There's stuff in there that I do really like, but it was just a little repetitive for my liking personally.
Fine. Fair enough. So with Flair not releasing the hold, Arn enters and untangles the legs himself. So obviously Flair and Arn Anderson have the history of being in the Four Horsemen together.
Yep.
So just again, I wasn't sure. I assumed you remembered that.
Remember.
That's fine. Proud of you again.
Thank you.
But they're obviously having a little bit of a...
Tiff.
Yes, a lover's tiff. Well, not lovers. I mean, who knows? I mean, that's an image that not many people would need. But yeah, so he untangles the legs, and then Flair and Arn go face to face before the Nature Boy uncorks a right hand.
Yeah.
The Enforcer is not fucking about, however, and unloads with a downpour of right hands as the bell rings wildly. Okay.
Yeah.
They continue their brawl outside of the ring until officials step between them. Arn takes a pause, and this is great. Arn is great. He takes a pause, looks back over his shoulder at the ring where Sting is, makes it look like he's going to go in there and do business, and just grabs his jacket and walks off.
I know, that did make me chuckle.
Wonderful. Like, genuinely my favourite moment of this. Arn Anderson is great. I think, honestly, the more we see of Arn Anderson, the more we'll appreciate him.
Okay.
I really do. Also...
Oh, gosh.
I've lied. We've seen Arn Anderson since then as well. Beach Blast 92. He was in the
of
co-main
course.
event.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I'm talking out my pipe. Right, carry on.
So in a minute, and I don't know if you've probably got more notes though between now and there's a man that shouts at Heenan, right? So when we get there,
I've got that.
Is that your next stuff?
Yep.
Who's the man that shouts at him?
Scott Norton.
I don't know who that is.
He's a wrestler.
Should I know who that is?
Not yet.
Okay, cool.
You will. I mean, he was the best work of his career was done in Japan.
Right.
For New Japan Pro Wrestling, where he's just a big lug of a guy that just hits hard. Not to be disrespectful, that's pretty much all he brought to the party. His stuff in WCW, but they made a big play of him coming to WCW, as you can tell.
Yes. I mean, I was just happy with what happened very quickly after.
We get that. We hear a ruckus kicking off on commentary, as Scott Norton, who's wearing a sleeveless shirt for those wondering, is screaming at Heenan. The Brain says, "Don't ask me," and then points at Bischoff. Norton is screaming about his contract, saying he should have an opponent, before he squares off with Big Boy Mongo, who shouts, "Hold on there, Big Boy!" And they have their little tete-a-tete. As the two are getting quite heated, who runs out, Holly?
My guy. So freaking happy. This was the highlight of the show for me.
And you, "Wanna mess with me, brother?"
Oh my god, I just can't.
Scott Norton he goes, "Oh god, do I want to do this?" No, I don't. Scott Norton getting to WCW, wondering when you were going to get here. How about Macho Man Randy Savage? "Is that big enough for you? Dig it!" And then he goes, and this is the bit that I showed my missus who walked into the room at the time.
Yeah.
Because he's wide-eyed,
Yep.
right up in Scott Norton's face.
yeah.
And he goes, "Okay, we're not waiting for nothing.
Stop it.
Let's do it now!" And then jumps in the ring, and it is a fucking scene.
I can't look at you when you do these impressions because you proper like get into the role.
But for nothing.
Oh, I'm on.
It's
honestly,
not a good impression. I'm aware of that.
This guy, I've found a love for him right through the years. This was fucking epic because it was so funny, unintentionally funny.
Yeah.
He's not wearing no like sequins either, so I was like, oh my gosh, He's not how I know him.
Nope.
But to see him in the background, literally like just arsing around, I was like, here he is. This is why I like him.
It's the nothing that really gets me, and it's because, like I said, I can only describe it like he's wild-eyed.
Oh, for sure.
With like narrow lips, it's just brilliant. Savage gets in the ring, but Bischoff says if Norton steps 1 foot in the ring, he will never wrestle in a WCW ring. He promises him that. It's a shame he didn't follow through on it. Bischoff now sends us to a package for an exciting wrestler who's made their way to WCW.
Oh, this made me feel like I was drunk all over again, this video.
Oh, yeah, of course, because of when you watched it.
Such bad, like, visuals on this video.
It's very 90s, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but
a lot
also
of
it's a bit like psychedelic. Like,
oh, very much so.
Like you drop some acid before watching it.
Fear and loathing style. Sabu promo package. We now get a very trippy package showcasing the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal Sabu, who's hitting a succession of acrobatic moves on various wrestlers. Then it ends.
Yep.
Sabu was not in WCW long at all. Like,
No.
really not. And then he went to ECW properly. He was already doing stuff at ECW at the time, but then it just didn't work for him at all. After that, who's standing in the ring, Holly?
Oh, God.
Mean Gene Okerlund.
Oh, yeah.
Mean Gene says in 1953 he could have purchased 10 acres for $17,000 in 1953, which I've put twice, but alas, he was only 8 years old. Who would know?
Who cares?
And I'd also like to shout out, sorry, I need to get this out there, I would like to shout out Mike Hill from Coleman, Alabama myself, who's won his Harley Davidson. Congratulations, Mike, if you're still listening.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Oh, my God.
I wasn't even using my hands. Bischoff advertises the upcoming WCW Saturday Night Show, where we will see a double main event of Johnny B. Bad against... Now, this name must have tickled you if you heard it. Did you hear the name?
Say it to me.
Dirty Dick Slater.
Oh, no. How did I miss that?
Which is one of Holly's new favourite named wrestlers. Dirty Dick
sounds
Slater.
like someone I'd like.
I've seen him. No.
No.
Not unless you like dirty to mean not the term that you're thinking.
Dirty.
Yeah, dirty like a... You smell.
Oh.
Yeah, dirty like a...
Yeah, no.
No.
I'm okay, thank you.
Sting Macho Man taking on the Blue Bloods is the other match, as well as information on the upcoming Fall Brawl.
Yep.
Michael Wall Street. Okay.
Yes.
I'll let you take the first part of this.
Well, the first one was I obviously didn't Google anything for this show.
Yep.
Because I didn't want to. And I literally put, is this IRS?
Of course it's fucking IRS.
And then literally 2 seconds in I went, oh, it is. It is. So you're not a fan of the old promo?
Not a fan of the... Okay, so asking me, was I a fan of the promo?
Yes.
Do I like shit?
Oh,
Not
I
really.
don't know.
Not really. Not a fan. I wouldn't often pick... Do you know what I feel like today? Shit. Do I get served shit quite a lot? Yes.
Whose promo was better, his or Sting's?
Stings, because it was shorter.
Okay, fine. Okay.
If they'd been the same length,
Yes.
Stings.
Okay.
So, no, let's be fair. The former IRS... No, I am being fair. It's shit. The former IRS, Mike Rotundo, is now working for WCW, where he's being positioned as though he were Vince McMahon. It's a play on that. You can't have your own identity, Mike, can you?
I thought he was meant to be like the $1 Million Man.
To be fair, kind of the... Yeah, ish, but it's tongue-in-cheek fired back at... Yeah. And immediately takes a dig at the new generation. So we're talking about how Raw is all talking about the new generation.
Yeah.
Out with the old, in with the new.
Okay.
Which he refers to as the few generation. That rascal. That absolute fucking useless rascal. He references that the IRS will be watching him, which basically means he'll be looking at himself in the mirror, and that he will be a big player in WCW. No, you fucking won't.
Oh, was he not?
No, he's not a big player in his own house. Like, I mean, he's all right. Okay, I've put this here. I'm sure he's a lovely man.
Yeah.
I've actually got that, but he's so devoid of charisma, it's scary.
Okay.
They're just, I don't get it.
Fine.
Like,
it's not for you.
But to the point where it sometimes annoys me. Like,
No.
someone can be...
No shit, really. I can tell it's like radiating off you.
I tell you what, if we were 6 beers deep, we'd be having a wrestle now. Jelly of your choice. That'd be happening.
Strawberry.
But yeah, I like strawberry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's clean as well. Like it's no bits. Like you get
Oh,
raspberry
okay.
bits, and even I like mandarin and satsuma, but you get the little
yeah.
pithy bits. Anyway, my brain needs to come back to the task at hand, so to speak, and I wish I'd chosen better words for that as well. But after the what did you think of the promo? I'm shitting all over it. What did you think of it?
Didn't really care for it, I'll be honest. I've got no fucking notes on it, so kind of thought it was that good.
Even the ones you do think are good, you don't put notes on.
Promos just don't really
Resonate.
Yeah.
Tell me what you told me earlier, though. What have you been doing on
I
Instagram?
don't remember what that was. Oh, I've been having a lovely time.
Share this with the fine listeners.
This page has found me.
Found you.
It's
Okay.
found me.
Right.
And it's all really old promos. So it's had Hulk on there. However, I can't get away from something.
Cream of the crap.
Yeah! And there's one. And it keeps coming up. I must have seen it about 10 times.
Yep.
Do I still keep watching it and absolutely having a lovely time?
What about Ultimate Warrior?
But, oh my god, that's so good.
Okay.
So, put it on Instagram, and I think it's funny, and I love it. I don't want to watch it here because
amazing.
this is not funny. Like this promo just now, like it's not funny.
It's not anything.
But those, I love them. I love them. Hey, if anyone's got any good ones,
Send them
to me for a
Holly's
good
way.
time.
Link it to the podcast.
Please
because Holly,
do.
like I
I
said,
love
that's Holly's domain, the Instagram account. I want to say main event time. It is the last match.
Is there a main event? Is there?
It's an event that's at the main, not the mains.
We were almost home and dry, is how I saw this.
We were, and yet we were still very much dripping, as was this match, because it is a wet drip of a match.
Oh, okay.
To be clear. Not that, Holly, to be clear. Get head back in the game.
Okay.
Honestly, she's been absolutely filthy today. It's horrible. I used to be so innocent. What is the main event?
Right. I called him Big Boss Man the whole time through my notes.
No.
Big Bubba? Something.
What?
I don't know.
Think about that.
Shirt?
No, okay, because this is going
What
to...
are you
Big
pointing
Bubba's
at?
shirt. Yeah. I'll get on his fucking shirt
I
in a
don't
minute.
know, but I called him Big
Rogers.
Boss Man. That's why you pointed at yourself.
No.
Sorry.
That's fine.
And, well, obviously, Hogan.
With?
He can fuck off. He can fuck off.
Who's he with? Say the name.
Mouth of the South.
And that isn't as sexy as it sounds, because, ladies and gentlemen, that is Jimmy Hart.
Boo.
What they're competing for?
At this point, I don't even care.
Your attention?
Yes.
The WCW
Sunbelt.
Championship. Well set up, Holly.
Sorry.
I'm really glad I
So
threw you
sorry.
that one. No, you're
Why
fine.
you shouldn't ask me stuff that I'm not prepped for.
Well, after Old Steak, I'm going to be throwing you curveballs all over the gaff going forward, so prepare yourself. Or don't, because that's what came out of not preparing yourself. When you heard the name Big Bubba Rogers, Holly, I assume you weren't expecting the Big Boss Man to appear.
No.
So, originally in WCW, he was named The Boss, but after a while, WWF Legal didn't like the similarities between that and the Big Boss Man, so his name was changed to the Guardian Angel, and he wore gear similar to the group he was named after, before he eventually turned heel and became Big Bubba Rogers.
Why does he always wrestle in what are the trousers called? They call like dress trousers or something.
Yeah.
I call them like work trousers and a fucking shirt.
Suspenders?
Yeah, I know. It must be uncomfortable.
Oh, I was uncomfortable.
But it's always unbuttoned all the way down to
Don't
the navel.
fucking... Right, okay.
As well, like either take it on,
Take it on.
take it off, or do it up a little bit. I don't need to see all of it.
I'm rocking backwards and forwards because I can't...
Are you that mad about it?
I don't understand how a man, how a person can have a button-up shirt, have them all unbuttoned, and tucked in. You look
true.
a cunt. I'm sorry, you do. Do you not? Did you tell me that that's a look, alright? Tell me that.
I mean, it is a look.
Okay, fine.
Be specific.
Fair point.
It's
Fair
not
point.
a good one.
There it is. But it doesn't anger you.
At least with the boss man gimmick,
Yeah.
it didn't make sense then, but at least there was a bit of something extra. This literally is just, I've got out of work on a Friday night, I've gone down the pub, I've had 20 beers, I'm stumbling home, I'm a bit hot, I'm going to undo my shirt, but I'm not clever enough to untuck it.
The first thing I do, if I'm like, so I assume you're not much of a t-shirt wearer where you're fully done up in that circumstance.
Me?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that is a
not.
t-shirt you're wearing, but it's not
T-shirt. Oh, shirt. Right. Okay.
Sorry,
yeah.
T-shirt. I
Shirt.
keep saying
Yeah.
shirt.
No, my shirt is fully unbuttoned.
And to be fair, you're not much of a T-shirt wearer because you always do
Absolutely
the
not.
stretch to make it go over your shoulder. But you don't wear a T-shirt fully buttoned up.
No, my shirt is right now fully undone, but I do have a top on underneath
That's not.
it. This one.
That is not undone. You got two
Well,
buttons
it was
done.
at work, but not
Fine.
when I sat down.
All right, but
Yes.
Yes.
No, I would never, unless I'm fancy dressing it, and I don't know what I'm fancy dressing it as.
okay. But what I'm saying is, from a guy who does,
Yes,
my first thing is undo the top button,
for sure.
tie off, untuck.
Yeah, and I understand that logic.
I don't carry on undoing them.
Maybe you should
whilst it
start
still
and see
tucks
what
in.
happens.
No,
Show
because
your missus, she might like it.
I don't think I offer
It's
my
like a
missus much
striptease.
that she
It's
likes
like a-
anymore at this
like
stage.
a striptease that stopped halfway through. Like
Could you imagine going there?
he
That'd be
started
great.
unbuttoning.
And then get down to there and go,
To be
night.
fair, yeah, all the times that I've... Oh my god, this makes me sound like such a hoe. But all the times that I've been to, like, those types of shows, a couple, they don't keep the shirt tucked in when they're
course they
taking it
don't.
off. Huh.
Well,
Interesting.
it's not conducive of taking the shirt off quickly, is
well,
it?
thankfully, he doesn't take it off.
I don't know. There's a market for everything, isn't there?
Yes.
No, just not in this room.
That escalated far higher than I thought it would, I'll be honest.
Hey, that's what we're here to do. You can't stay on the tracks all the time. Occasionally, you've got to kind of plough into
Yes.
a small village. Okay, so yes, Holly, this is the traditional Hulk Hogan theme in WCW.
Yeah.
American made. Does it give you the feels?
Sad.
Oh, okay. I agree. It's not as good. It's not bad.
No, it's not bad. But again, I think I need a little time to warm up to it.
I won't tell you who wrote this then,
Why?
because you'll never like it.
Oh. Oh no.
What?
Oh.
Who?
Tell me.
Not Jimmy Hart, it's fine. Whilst I appreciate the fact that Hogan is now off the gas, to me he looks weird. Like this was with velveteen hair, leaner frame. Not a fan.
Okay.
Looks odd. Looks weird.
Because you've been so used to him being jacked.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not in good nick,
No.
but he looks oddly proportioned.
It's like when you've got a balloon that starts to get smaller, and then it starts to get a little wrinkly because of the excess skin that's not been there. No, okay.
It's like when you got old meat,
Oh, stop it.
old steak.
Sorry, I can't help it.
He's your way of describing Hulk Hogan today has been absolutely on point on each and every occasion.
Yeah.
Yes, I do know what you mean,
Yeah.
and yes, I agree. It's just that I just don't like the look.
Okay.
I'll tell you what Holly is not a fan of: that little dickwad in a spangled jacket at ringside with a megaphone.
Stupid fucking loudspeaker.
There it
Great,
is.
Honestly.
I'll pretend I could read that from here, but yeah,
Stupid.
I think you're covering it up with your
You're
hand.
livid.
To be fair. Bet you were. The two lock up with a collar and elbow, and Hogan shoves Bubba off before flexing. They engage once more, and Bubba applies a side headlock before rapidly jumping up and down like he's had too much sugar and his mum said it's time to leave the party. Hulk is kneeling, having a lovely chat with the ref. In the loosest chin hold you will see this side of Cobb County.
Yeah.
Hogan fights out and pushes Bubba off. Dropped down by Hulk, and a shoulder tackle sends Bub, apparently, sprawling into the ropes. A knuckle lock starts, but Bubba boots to the guts and throws some rights in the corner. Corner whip and splash lands. In the opposite corner. No, in the opposite.
The opposite.
In the opposite corner, Bubba rakes away at the face, but Hulk blocks going face first into the buckles and commences with Sesame Street buckle bounces for Big Bubba.
Oh.
Buckle bounces for Big Bubba.
But very good.
Hello. It's not been a right off this day just yet. Right hands now until the ref steps in the way, but when Hogan returns, walks right into a thumb of the eye. Delayed backbreaker by Bubba, who, like the Roman Colosseum, has his arm outstretched before turning his thumb down and dropping the Hulkster across the knee. Bubba unloads with rights in the corner, including a select few to the ribs. Yokozuna's hungry. He charges into the corner twice, but runs straight into a big boot on both occasions. Rogers with a frozen in animation cell for the second before he's shoved down.
Oh yeah, I've got the rigor mortis full.
That is Holly, you honestly, chef kiss today. Chef kiss, really good. Mounted Sesame Street punches by Hogan, who's grabbed by the hair and is removed by the ref as he sells. It's the most selling he's done in this match is the ref. With Hulk now over the middle rope, Bubba guillotines him with his legs before sliding out of the ring and marching Jimmy Hart down. Holly's excited, Holly's engaged, Holly wants damage to be done to the little bitch.
I thought he was going to get a clobber.
Yes, knuckle sandwich, as my grandpapa would say. He didn't hit me, just to be clear, but the threat was always there. I lie. Where do we go? Bubba strips Jimmy of his jacket, but as he prepares to swing at Hart, Hogan is there to block it. Boo. Do you know what? I didn't have an issue with Jimmy Hart until that one WrestleMania where he was there like 15 times.
Oh, yeah.
And ever since then, I'm not on the same level of hate as you, and I think it's hate at this point. But it's the more I see him, we'll get there.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to that. We will get to that finish line.
When do we stop seeing him? Because I know I text you that and you were like, never. And I'm like, well, we do at some point.
Well, it depends on the show.
Oh, because we're going to keep going back, aren't we? Back and forth.
We are. Holly, okay. I'm going to we'll put a pin in this match right now.
Yeah.
I think you're liking the older stuff more than you expected.
Yeah, I'm definitely more than I expected. There's some people I could do without seeing more.
Greg Valentine.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while, to be fair, but I don't need no more fucking elbow drops. Unless they're by Savage.
Fair. Bill Alfonso.
Whistle man.
Fucking whistle man. Jimmy Hart.
It's a fucking loudspeaker.
The Hurricane. No, I'm joking.
No, never.
You should have seen the look on her
Livid.
face, like I just kicked her in the shin.
Don't even try it.
Who else is on that list of people that you could do without
On
seeing
a shit
for?
list.
Sure.
Oh, don't know. Give me time.
All right.
I'll compile it.
Compile a shit list. Fucking hell, is there enough paper? Where we go from here? Okay, right. Back in the ring, and with Hart's jacket to hand, Hogan is smothering Rogers as Jimmy distracts the official. More Sesame Street punches in the corner, and as Hogan whips Rogers into the corner and follows up with a clothesline, I notice that Bubba's shirt is undone but still tucks in the fucking tit. Corner beat down by Hogan before a big body slam in the middle of the ring. 2 elbow drops, boo, you're not savage, before Hogan grinds the sole of his boot on Rogers' face. Rogers' face. A flurry of punches to the seated Rogers, and the crowd are actually pretty dead at this point.
Yeah.
Really dead.
It's quiet.
Very quiet. Bubba takes over with a series of knees in the corner before hitting a body slam of his own. Headbutt to the sternum, and Hogan is sent into the buckles face first. Corner charge misses, and the Hulkster is back in... What? Back in charge with some right hands, but runs into the Way City Tide, I think they called it, which is the big boss man slam.
Yeah.
Only a 2 count. And now we see Hogan begin to Hulk up. Holly, you said right there like you had negative animosity and thoughts about this.
I did. Do you know why?
No finger wag?
Yeah. If you're going to give me Hogan, give me the full shebang. Give me a U. And we got a U.
We did.
But we didn't get no.
No.
And at that point, I stopped caring.
And now we see Hogan begin to Hulk up. Right hands, Irish whip, big boo, you know the drill.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. With one of the laziest covers you will ever see. You might as well dick him in the eye.
He's up before Freeze even out the ref's mouth.
Oh, right, sorry.
Yes.
I said dick to the eye and you said out of his mouth. I got a bit concerned. Hulk Hogan is still the WCW champion.
Sure. Beg to differ, but
okay, so we've got some shenanigans, some shithousery of the highest order coming up. But before we get into that, what did you think of this series of moves in the form of a match?
Wank. Not even a good wank.
Yeah, and then what did you think of the match?
It was a poor wank.
A poor wank.
It was a poor wank with no finish.
Imagine being disappointed with your own wank. That's a sad state of affairs. Hulk Hogan and Big Bob Rogers gave us a sad wank right here. What are you scoring this sad wank of a match?
0.5.
Do you know what?
And you know what? My 0.5, I think, for me is generous.
I'll be honest, 0.5. It's probably where I land for it as well.
Perfect.
Because I didn't actually write that one down. But yes, no, I agree. I was definitely under 1. I knew I was under 1.
I was underwhelmed.
Weren't we all? The saddest wank of a main event.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's how I described it.
No, that's fine.
That is how, actually, yeah.
It was wank.
Yeah.
As Hulk begins to celebrate with Jimmy Hart, the Dungeon of Doom, and no, Holly, I'm not joking, that was the name of this stable, hit the ring. We see Kevin Sullivan, the little blonde man, who I referenced earlier in the thing, being a decision maker backstage.
Yep.
Kamala, who you've seen very briefly in one of the shows. Meng, the Shark, and the Zodiac Man. I'll assume, Holly, that you recognise the Shark.
I'm thinking, probably there were definitely people came out that I remembered.
Earthquake.
Yes.
And Meng being Haku.
Yes.
But do you know who the Zodiac Man is?
No.
Yep, that's Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Shut your mouth.
Did you not see the grenade-laden
Shut
tights?
your mouth.
Yeah, the Zodiac Man. Before he became the Booty Man.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about this.
Oh, I know how I feel about it, and
no.
it ain't good.
You're going to take him away from me again.
The Zodiac Man. I never gave you beefcake. I'm just saying.
I
that.
really like
That's
him.
out of context. That's a sentence. I never gave you beefcake.
There's your fucking t-shirt.
There's your t-shirt. I never
Actually,
gave.
that's your OnlyFans.
That's my OnlyFans. I never gave you beefcake, and I couldn't because yes. Carry on. Couldn't hit the sides. Carry on.
No, I'm.
So you're not a fan of the Zodiac Man?
Oh.
How did the gear not give it away? Fair enough, he had face paint on his hair. Was a bit mad.
I think I was just excited that it was almost finished.
Google Zodiac Man
Now.
as a wrestler, and then because I've still
Okay.
got some notes that we can go through.
Okay.
But yes, as Hogan is lying, sorry, no, he's not lying. Well, he's usually lying. Actually, if his mouth is open, he's probably lying. As Hogan is trying to fight them off, Lex Luger hits the ring and helps the champion clear house.
Of course he does.
With the ring now emptied of the Dungeon of Doom members, Lex and Hulk nearly strike one another. As the two begin to mouth off at one another, Sting and Randy Savage hit the ring to calm the situation down. You see it now? You see it now, don't you?
I do see it now.
During the commercial break, Mean Gene has made his way to the ring, but first we get an advert for Full Brawl, where Randy Savage and his pals will help fight against muscle dystrophy with the MDA. Although by this point Hogan and Lex will have been talking to each other for close to 5 minutes, they kindly go back to the start of the conversation when Mean Gene presents them with a fucking microphone. Hogan asks what Luger is doing in his backyard. Brother. Luger says that Hogan is supposedly the best wrestler in the world, and Lex wants the only world title that matters. Well, you didn't get any other one, which is the one that Hulkster has right now. You about to say something I felt?
I feel like you're also going to call this out because this is a quote that one of them says that you can't not call out about he's sick and tired of playing with someone.
Oh! Yep. Okay. Yeah, don't worry, I get to that as well. Okay. Right, we've covered that bit. As Hogan goes to talk, Lex shouts over him to finish his piece and says that he and Hogan have both been down the same roads and beaten the same people, and he's beaten the same people that Hogan has, which is absolutely not correct. Lex says he's sick and tired of playing around with kids, which I don't think is a statement he should be sharing on TV, and that whether it is 1 week, 1 month, 1 year or 5 years, he will get his shot at the belt. Imagine being 5 years, that'd be fucking hilarious. Hogan says he will be the WCW... Right. Hogan says that he'll be the WCW champion forever and a day. And that's the way it's going to be. He knows where Luger has been and how long he's been at it, which again, I don't think he should be admitting to knowing. Hogan says that Luger doesn't have to wait a week or a month. Just put his stinky palm out and shake Hulk's hand and he can have a title match in 1 week's time. So he does have to wait a week. Even though he says you don't have to wait a week.
But you've got to wait a week.
You've got to wait a week. Like you don't wait a week, but you wait a week. That's Hogan logic right there. After they shake hands, they begin showing each other... No, I have put showing. They begin shoving each other and have to be separated once more by Sting and Savage.
Oh.
We now stop off once more at the commentary booth where we see Steve McMichael holding what appears to be a gremlin in a devil's outfit. The look on Heenan's face as he looks at the dog, I enjoy greatly.
Okay.
Heenan calls the dog a rat after we learn that he was dressed up as he was a fan of the Dungeon of Doom, and that, Holly, brings us to the end of the first episode of Monday Nitro.
Yeah.
Woo! Streamers and fireworks everywhere. What do you make of it?
Yeah. That was okay.
That was a happening.
No, it wasn't a happening.
Something happened.
Yeah. I don't know. I try and go into these things with an open mind and a low expectations. How I walk through life. And this just didn't. It's actually how I go on all my dates, I'll be honest. An open mind and low expectations.
Well, remind me to take you on a date.
This was just a bit shit for me.
The whole show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well,
First match,
yes,
alright.
the first match was alright. But there's only 3 matches, and it's kind of like...
You
well,
wanted more of that?
Well, no, but you just think, come on.
Yeah.
That's actually all I can say is, come on.
Did you think, as a comparison, granted
Yes.
they're 2 years apart,
Yeah.
did you prefer the first episode of Raw or the first episode of Nitro?
For me, personally, I preferred Raw.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The matches were a bit better for
You,
me.
you like Rob Bartlett as well?
Yeah, also, I mean, you've got a Savage there on the whole time, but...
No, Rob Bartlett was your shining light, because Savage didn't say much in that one.
No, yeah, it's a bit upsetting,
Yeah,
but...
sure.
No, for me, personally, I preferred the first episode of Raw.
Okay, I'll be honest, I don't actually think there was much in it. I made a deal out of it. I would just about edge Nitro, because the best match I remember on Raw was the Shawn Michaels one, and that was too long.
Okay.
I would take the Pillman-Liger match over the Shawn Michaels Max Moon one. And
I get it. I have to look at it and go, okay, but the rest of these matches, I literally gave them like barely anything. Whereas at least those ones previously, I think I gave them a sprinkle more.
what, Damien Demento and Taker in the main event?
I'm pretty sure they got more than
Oh yeah, probably actually. That's really
Sting
upsetting to think
and
about.
Flair and yeah, I know.
We're
right?
in a world here, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, where a Damien Demento match has outscored Sting and Ric Flair. I feel
Just
sick.
to be clear, we're not doing the comparison because
We're
I
not
say
doing the
this every
comparison.
time. But as a
I dread to ask this.
yeah,
Well, at least you did it in one sitting.
yeah, I did
Okay. What do you score the show?
3
Yeah.
out of 10.
I would go 4.
Okay.
4 because I enjoyed the first match more than you did.
Mm-hmm.
The second match was okay. Third match was utter wank, as you said.
Yes.
The stuff that happened outside of the ring, Arn Anderson getting involved, fine with that. He's good. He's safe. He's sound. But it's still not a good show.
Nope.
I guarantee you there will be episodes of Nitro that I know you'll like.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure there will be.
So I don't want this to
It won't tarnish it.
tarnish it.
No, it
Exactly
won't.
that.
I'm sure there's other things we'll watch that.
Awesome.
That are like maybe a first episode of something. I don't know, and I'll go. But again, it doesn't stop me from wanting to.
But if
watch
I said,
other
okay, we're going to
things.
watch the second episode of Nitro soon, you'd go, okay,
Yeah, fine.
all right, fair enough. So it didn't completely shut you down to it.
No, because I've trawled through fucking shite WrestleMania, so I feel like I can face most things, and I know there's more coming. But
You're on the last really bad one until like 27,
oh really?
in my opinion.
Ish.
There's going to be shit bits in them
Oh, of
still,
course.
but
But
as a
there's shit
general
bits in
overall
everything.
shit show,
Okay.
yeah, you're on the last one at the moment.
Lovely.
For a
That's what
bit.
I like to hear.
Although I still think the main event of 12 will age you.
Oh yeah, it's the long one, isn't it?
But note taking might not be too bad because they have to pace it.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
with that being said, Holly,
Yes.
do you have the socials to hand that you can share with the lovely listeners out there?
Of course I can. wintwicepod@gmail.com is the address to email, should you so desire.
And what can they email us?
Anything they like, really.
Well, I'm the one looking
It's
at
you
that.
that does it, so
Yeah.
anything you like. Some recommendations would be nice.
Yep.
I say this every time, to be fair.
I'd like to get some fans of me. If
Oh.
just I feel Holly's getting a lot of love, and rightly so. Rightly so. She's great.
I appreciate it.
Oh, exactly. You appreciate it. I'd like to be appreciated occasionally, but that's fine. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You're bringing more. You brought old steak to the table, so you're good.
That's all
You're
I'm
good.
fucking bringing.
No, it's honestly so much more. But carry on.
And then Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok are WinTwicePod.
I think what we've learned about our audience, because everything else is growing, is that the Instagram crowd is not
It's not so.
robust.
I'll be honest, it gives me an easy life because
Let's give Holly hard times, baby.
there's nice people that message though.
There are, yes. Parminder.
Lovely people that message.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah,
And let's just keep YouTube really going to keep certain people really busy.
I think that's fair.
I think it's fair
that's
too.
The algorithm changes a lot, though. It's really difficult to keep track of.
In that stuff. Let's be clear.
No, well, that's true.
I'm not clever enough for
We
that.
can get you involved.
No, I
love
tell
it.
you what, guys, I'm okay.
Are you?
I'm okay,
Okay.
just being on the outskirts.
Ooh, outskirts.
Yeah.
You're out of skirts. But that pretty much brings us to the
Okay.
end of this episode.
Doesn't it just?
Back on the road through the Manias, or the march through the Manias, I should say.
True.
WrestleMania 11 will be the next one.
It's
That,
coming.
I believe, will be probably a day or so late, given when we'll be having to be recording
Yes,
it.
it is.
Because of social commitments, because we are, social butterflies and
Aren't
all
we
that.
just? Through
You
the
more
summer months.
You more so than me, but yeah, I think if nothing else from this week, we can take away that we'll hopefully be going to more progress shows throughout the course of the
Absolutely.
year, having a lovely time. staying safe, staying educated. Until the next time,
Yes.
staying educated. That was weird.
I don't know who you're talking to, but ain't me.
You're educated. Well, okay, fine. But until next time, hope you enjoy the show, guys, and hope you tune in for the next one. Until then, take care. Bye.
Bye.